In our last video, we created the framework for our array that will contain the 5 world locations for our targets. We'll be writing the code to make our agent randomly teleport to a location and place that target. In this video, we will briefly explore the world coordinates and determine the X, Y, Z coordinates needed for each location. For those who are not familiar with Minecraft world coordinates, let's make them a little easier to visualize by pausing our game, clicking on Settings, and then scrolling down to the World Options toggles. We want to enable Show Coordinates by moving the slider to the right. We can now back out of our settings and resume our game. When we do, we will notice that we now have some numbers displayed on the top left corner of our screen. These numbers represent the X, Y, and Z coordinates of ourselves, the player, and the coordinates of our agent. We are only going to focus on the top numbers, our coordinates, for now. Since we are in a 3-dimensional world, each number of our coordinates represents our location in the world. In this space, our X coordinate changes as we move side to side. The second coordinate is our Y position, which changes as we move up and down. The last one is our Z coordinate, which changes as we move front to back. To make it easy to get the coordinates we need, let's go into the inventory and grab a block. Most solid blocks will work just fine, as these are only going to act as a temporary placeholder. You may have noticed that the agent actually teleports above where the target is placed, and then puts the target block in the space below it. Let's fly over to one of our target locations, since we are still in creative mode. For this next part, it would be really helpful to have a pencil and a piece of paper handy for taking notes. If you don't have them, you can pause now and go grab them. Let's place a block exactly in the center of the area where we want the target to be. We can now fly above it and stand on top of it. You want to make sure you are standing right on the top. The player coordinates you see when you are standing here are precisely where you want the agent to teleport, so we are going to write these coordinates down. We need to do this for all 5 possible locations, so fly around now and write all of your coordinates down. Now that we have all 5 sets of coordinates, we can add them to the target's locations array in our code. Our array is complete and ready, so let's use it. We want our agent to teleport randomly to one of the possible locations. We can start in the agent folder and get the agent teleport to coordinates block. Then, let's go back into the array folder and get the block that says get random value from list and replace the coordinates in the agent teleport block. From the dropdown, we'll select target locations. We want the agent to face the player. In this case, it will be north or negative on the Z-axis. If you aren't sure, you can change this when you test, since there are only 4 possible options. Let's test our code. Press the play button and then type play in our chat bar. Each time we do this, the agent should choose one of the 5 locations. There's a chance it can choose the same location, so if the agent doesn't move, try it again. When you are done, be sure to break the temporary blocks. We no longer need them. With our coordinates ready to go, let's move on to equipping the player before the game begins.